Today we're going to look at getting into your Google Analytics account to look at your Google Ads campaigns, see how they're performing. You can get a lot of insight and a lot of information, data as far as who's looking at your ads. So we're going to kind of roll through that stuff real quick. If you have an ads campaign with us, we usually set those up through your analytics. We link them together so you don't have to log into Google Ads or anything, although you can. Um, it's just easier for us to share your analytics account with you so you can see all the data in your analytics account, and then your Google Ads will show up there within a couple hours of us setting that up properly through Google Ads. So the first thing you do, just go to Google and then just type in analytics right there. We've already searched for it. So just type in analytics and then just click on Google Analytics right here. And it takes you to your analytics account. So sometimes it'll say sign in or start now. Just click on, sign in. But usually this page will pop up. And we're using a generic, one of our clients who we started last month running some Google Ads campaigns for. So this is the, the front end of analytics. This is what you should see. All kinds of data on this stuff. And as of today, what is it today? May 21st, 2019. This is what it looks like. A generic dashboard. This is what this is called. It just has just a bunch of columns or boxes. We call these widgets of information in here. So this is an introduction to your home page of Google Analytics. There's all kinds of different tabs and pages here. We'll look at just the main ones real quick. So this is over the last 7 days here. So you can kind of change that to the last 30 days or whatever you want, just to kind of see all the users that have hit your website. So this is your analytics account will be attached to your website. Okay, so this is showing how many users hit the website, how many sessions. This means one user could hit your website a couple times. So that would count for 2 sessions or 3 sessions. But this is how many sessions that your website has had. Bounce rate is how often they just kind of get on and get off real quick. And this is how long they stay on your website. 2 minutes, 15 seconds on this particular one. Not too bad. You can kind of look at all these different widgets and see all the data in here. You can change your dashboard if you really want to get fancy and put just the most important information to you when you open your home page. But this is basically the home page of your analytics. You can go through here, and at the bottom is just a quick snapshot of your Google Ads campaigns. You can kind of use this as just a general snapshot, and then you can click on your Google Ads campaigns buttons here, and I'll show you another way to do that. And then you can filter it to how long the ads have been running. So this is just, everything's kind of default to the last 7 days. Sometimes we'll set up goals in your analytics campaigns, and then we'll kind of go over what those goals are. Each one will be specific. Now, not all these track perfectly, so we'll talk about that if we set that up with you. Goal values, if you don't have a set ticket item, like if you're selling shoes for $30 a piece, well, it's hard to track the goal value or the revenue that you're getting from Google Ads down here. So a lot of times that'll show 0 unless you have like an e-commerce, like an online store, or a way that we can track how much the lead or the conversion was worth. So if they purchased like a pair of shoes for $50, that would show $50. But on this particular client, they don't have a business set up like that. What pages do your users visit? This one, I like to look at this to see how, this is the home page. When you see a slash like that, that's just the home page. So generally that will be your #1 page. So then there's the inner pages of the website here. It's interesting to see which pages each user is hitting and what they're looking at. So let's go back to the top. We're going to look at your real time. If you want to see who's on your website at the current time, you can click on that and click on overview real quick. And that'll just kind of show you who's on your website. This probably has nobody on it right now. So that's kind of a little fun thing to look at. So your audience, the first thing I want to touch on real quick, I know this video is about Google Ads, but I want to just show you something else you can look at in your audience. There's all kinds of different things you can look at here as far as the interests of your users. This is really where you see the users that have hit your account. This shows all kinds of different data. So you can go into each one. You can see your demographics here. You've got an overview of the people that have hit your site, their age, gender. Keep in mind, Google tracking is not 100% accurate, but this gives you a good general idea of who the users are. Some of their interests. This is kind of neat to see. Some of the users that have hit this particular website, some of their interests according to how Google thinks they behave. And Google has a lot of data, so some of it's pretty close. Some of it's not so close. Some of it's just general data. It's good to use this data and cross-reference it with other sources to see real data, see if any of this stuff matches with other sources of reporting for your website or your demographics. But this is interesting to just kind of see some of the interests that your users have. And then, you can kind of see all kinds of different stuff. What browser they're using to find your website, what network they're using, if they're mobile devices, what mobile device they're using. So your demographics here, you can look at let's look at the overview real quick. You can kind of get an idea of their age groups, male or female. There's different metrics you can add in here through the settings if you really want to get fancy and look at all that stuff. So the third tab here is your acquisition. I like to look at this because it shows how users found your website. If you do any SEO with us, you get this report. You'll see the snapshot of this exact page right here. We'll filter this to the last 30 days over here. We'll click apply. And then we can see over the last 30 days, we always want to see that your organic search is the #1 top channel of acquisition. This is how users are finding you. Once in a great while, you'll see direct as the top, but you always, if you're paying for SEO services with us, you want your organic search to definitely be the bulk of where you're getting your users from. This is people that are searching in keywords to find you, okay? Direct traffic is if they punched in the name of your the name of your business, like ABC Company, they would find you directly, or abccompany.com. But organic search is like plumbing Tulsa or car repair Tulsa. That's where you want to see the bulk of your traffic coming in. Okay, then paid search is your ads, obviously, your Google ads and your other paid traffic. Okay, so let's get into the point of this and go into under the acquisition tab is Google Ads right here. And then we'll just start with the campaigns tab. This is a good snapshot, and then you can filter it by how long you want to, the date ranges and stuff, like the last 7 days or today, the data from today. So this is showing you our campaigns, and the remarketing campaign was running on this. These particular campaigns are paused right now, but this is where you get a lot of good information as far as how many people have clicked on the ad for each campaign. These are different campaigns. We ran one in Texas and we ran one in Oklahoma, and your remarketing, you know what that is. It's where they hit your site and don't buy, and then they start seeing more ads for you. So 5 people clicked on that. This is the cost, the total cost for that campaign over the selected date range. But CPC is cost per click. You can hover over this question mark to give you a little bit of insight as to what that is if you forget what it is or how it works. Cost per click is the average cost you pay for each click on your search ad. So each time a person clicked on your ad, this is about the average of the cost for that. Remember, you're bidding on these ads. Users, obviously the number of users that have clicked. Sometimes a user can hit you or click you twice, which sucks, but because you pay for that. But it happens. So this one's showing, it's not too bad. It's 70%, 27% here of the total clicks. So sessions, this is how many sessions you've had from the users, which basically means a website visit. Bounce rate, you can look at this here. This is kind of the definition. Basically, how long they're staying on, or how many pages they're kind of going through on your site. So the definition is the percentage of a single session in which there was no interaction with the page. A bounce session has a duration of 0 seconds. So you basically want that to be, pretty much higher than normal, um, higher than or about 50% or less. So the average for view is 47% here. There, it's showing here that the total for all the campaigns, users are hitting at least 2 pages, which is not bad. You want them to hit more than 1 page. You want them to get to your checkout page or start browsing around your website. Conversion tracking, this is really, you want to have your conversions set up. This is something that we have to set up manually. And when we set up Google Ads, you'll get that service with us where we set up conversions. So it'll track. And again, this data is not 100% accurate on these conversions. Sometimes your conversions won't trigger right away, or you'll get a false feedback from Google, or sometimes it won't even track a conversion. This is where somebody makes a purchase on your site from the Google ad, or they place a phone call to your company from a Google ad, or they make some kind of action, fill out a contact form, in this case, from your Google ad. So it's showing here that we've had 2 people out of 164 clicks fill out a contact form. So that's kind of what you want to look at. Just so you know, we've had more than two people fill out a contact form. Like I said, sometimes these things don't trigger 100%. And it's just, there's multiple reasons for that. It doesn't always happen, but sometimes it does. On this one, it did. So then you can go into all the different tabs over here and kind of see what how people are interacting with your Google ads. So you can look at keywords is what I like to show people, because you can see the keywords that people these are the keywords that we have for this particular client. And then when they search something, which you can find here in the search queries, we'll look at that in a second. When a user searches something, it'll match it to one of our keywords. So these are the amount, or this is the keyword matches here. So you can kind of segregate, okay, well, they typed in barn builder, Oklahoma, and then they matched it to this keyword here. So 11 clicks, and we'll look at that right now. So search queries is what they actually have typed into Google. So you can see the different types of searches that people actually search for to find that ad and to click on it. So you can look at the amount of clicks for that keyword. It looks like on this particular campaign, pole barn was pretty hot. Barn dominium builders was pretty hot. They got 17 clicks on it. And it kind of segregates here. You can look at all the different data within that. So it's all very good data. Then you can look at the hour of the day. So if you wanted to kind of say, hey, let's turn the ad off during certain hours of the day. Looks like 9 a.m. was a hot hour. 1 p.m. was a hot hour for these guys, into the evening, 6, 7, 8 o'clock, right over here. And then you can just kind of look at all the different tabs here. You can go into your tree maps, back up here towards the top. And this is kind of just showing you a snapshot of the different campaigns that are running. I don't really use this page too much. Site links. This is something that we add onto your campaign. I'm not sure why it's showing not set. It's got a site link ID. So if we have site links, which is basically keywords that we add onto your ad, you'll see that reflected here. We can kind of go into more of that specifically one-on-one, because this one's kind of a bad example for site links. We should have actual words here, but let's look at bid adjustments for a second. And this is kind of showing how the bids have been performing against different devices. You can kind of open this up here. Look at each campaign. These are campaigns, and then how they're performing, just to kind of see how the bids are working out for you and where people are clicking from, just at a good snapshot. So we looked at that stuff. Display targeting. And that's if we were running display ads. We're not running any display ads. Video campaigns, if we were running video campaigns and then shopping campaigns. If that pertains to you, you can click on it and look at it. If not, then it wouldn't obviously pertain to you. So that's really it within our Google Ads. That's where we're sending folks to look at how their ads are performing. There's all kinds of different data you can play with. You can filter out all kinds of data on this on these pages here within Google Ads. So feel free to kind of click around, um, look at different data, and just see how these ads are performing for you. You can also look at your ad groups here, in addition to your campaigns. So you have groups of ads. You can click on that and see how those, it breaks it down per ad group. So we have standard ads for Oklahoma and Texas, and we have dynamic ads for Oklahoma and Texas. So it really breaks it down. You can see that the standard ads did pretty good on this one, which is kind of unique because dynamic ads really tend to outperform the standards. So it could be a couple of reasons for that, but that's essentially what I wanted to show you today, is how to kind of review your Google Ads and how they're performing without actually going into the Google Ad platform, which is a little bit more difficult to use, a lot more buttons, a lot more things to sift through and look at. So this is just a general way, and it's an easier, more user-friendly way, I think, to show you what's going on within your Google Ads campaigns, and also get a snapshot of your total website analytics campaign. So get familiar with your Google Analytics account. It's got a lot of great data in there. You can kind of look at all kinds of different metrics in here. You can look at the conversions. If we've set up goal conversions for you, you can kind of see the location of this is the web page that we've set for a goal completion location. So you can see that 135 people have hit that. The get a quote page, and then the thank you page, 4 people have hit that. So there's a lot of different data, a lot of different things we can do with goals and conversions. You can actually, if this tab will work here, you can kind of see a snapshot of how the users are funneling themselves or navigating through your website after they hit you through goals. So a lot of good data in here. I suggest you kind of glance at that from time to time. If you have e-commerce, we can open this page here and you'll see different information as far as like what they're buying. This shouldn't show anything. Yeah, because this isn't an e-commerce site. But if you sell products online, you'll see the products that they're buying and all kinds of great data within this one here. So use that as often as possible. But that's it. Just kind of keep a look at your analytics account and see what people are doing, how they're behaving, and always let us know if you have any questions. Thank you.